Hello, and welcome back to another anime art video. My name is Dennis, and I am a beginner artist, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I said in one of my videos yesterday that I was going to see Avengers Endgame today, and that I was going to do a review about it. It's not going to be like one of those crazy reviews, not like crazy as in like bad crazy, but like crazy as in like more in depth, and like somebody like Blind Wave or like some other people like Tyrone Magnus, things like that, of those natures. It's not going to be like that. It's just going to be like it's going to be what I really enjoyed from it, and then like what I didn't enjoy that much. And this is a spoiler warning. There is going to be spoilers in here for if you haven't seen it. It's not going to be that many spoilers because I'm not going to go based off of just like beginning of movie to end of movie type things. It's just going to be like snippets here and there based around the movie and its premise. First things first. I loved this movie. Okay. In all of Marvel movies, in all of them, I think I said it in my video yesterday, I said that The Incredible Hulk is one of my favorite Marvel movies, based on the fact that love the Hulk as a character. I love him as a superhero. So technically it's a bias based on that fact, so that's why Thor Ragnarok ranks highly on that list as well. Also because I think my second favorite Marvel character that we know of, like amongst all of the group, would have to be between Spider-Man and Thor. Nah, it'd be between Spider-Man, Thor, and Black Panther. But I want to say that Spider-Man and Black Panther might rank higher than Thor, but Thor's, he's up there now. But I might do a list on that later. But I know this is supposed to be mainly an art channel, and I'm not gonna be like making like a common occurrence of like making a bunch of reviews. But like movies like this, like that are iconic that I've seen, I want to give my impression based around that. So this movie, one thing that I really like about the movie is I like how it was scoped, like from beginning to end. Like, I like how at the very beginning of the movie they show us Hawkeye and the beginning of what made him Ronin. Like it didn't take that long for us to understand what made him that way, and the effect that it had on him, about him, this spoiler, teaching his daughter how to shoot, and him turning around for a second, then turning back around, and everything that he loves is just gone. Like, it just disappeared. And it's an open field. Nothing can disappear like that. So it like immediately, like, it clicks in his head, something bad happens, and then that's where he goes on his tangent and starts, murking people. But Ronin in this movie, amazing. Like the amount of fighting that they gave him in this movie is like iconic. Like, it's almost as good, not almost as good. I want to say it's almost on the same caliber as when Black Panther came onto the scene, and then they threw him the gauntlet, and he was running through the field, destroying monsters. Like, that was a really good scene. Spider-Man, when he turned on his suit instant kill mode, who would have thought Peter Parker using the instant kill on anything? I didn't think that feature in his suit was going to actually, I didn't think he was actually going to use it. I think that it was just like a Tony Stark thing. He puts like everything that might happen in his suit, and he's like, okay, this encompasses like a majority of everything you might encounter. You might encounter somebody that you might need to instant kill, so this is going to be there, right? But I never thought he would use it. he turned it on and just started, like, the suit just started stabbing monsters. Like, it just, like, it didn't care. Like, everything that came close, it just started stabbing. Another thing that I like Thor. You think that giving him Stormbreaker would make him overpowered? No. No. Not even close. What you should have done is you should take Thor, give him Stormbreaker, let him go back in time, and let him grab Mjolnir so he can dual wield both of them. Yo. Like, hands down, one of the dopest, like, conjurations. Like, the moment he first pulls it out, like, the moment he, like, he's talking with, I think it was, Captain America and Iron Man, and, he's like, what has, Thanos been doing? And he's like, I don't know, he's waiting. And, I forget what they actually said to him, but it was, like, something along the lines of, like, we're not waiting, or, like, we're not, something like that. And then he was like, you read my mind, and his eyes turned to blue, the lightning flowed through him, he held out those hands, pulled those weapons in close, and went to work. I'm telling you, like, hands down, that is one of the highlights of, I'm thinking. It's 3 hours of footage that I have to, like, sift through in my memory. But yeah, that is one of the highlights of Endgame. Like, it is, like, really, it's really up there. Like, the amount of combat that went into him doing that. One thing, okay, spoke about a few things that's good. One thing that me personally, I'm disappointed in is I am a Hulk fan. I wore this shirt to the movie. Like, I'm in there. I was in there because of Hulk. I was in there based on the fact that we know that he did nothing other than fight Thanos in the beginning of Infinity War, and then, like, disappeared. And I know why. I know why he did it. I knew when the movie happened why he didn't show up. It was because of him and Banner not getting along. It was because they were butting heads. And I knew at the end, I was like, okay, the next movie he's gonna get, like, highlighted. I was like, maybe he's gonna get a rematch with Thanos. No. Maybe he's going to fight anybody on screen solo. No. Like, it blows my mind. He didn't do anything. Like, even when the Great War happened and all the soldiers, all the Wakandas came in, and the magic folks, I forget their names right now, I'm drawing a blank, but when everybody showed up and they were getting ready to fight against Thanos' team, like, they didn't even show, like, Hulk jumping up and taking out one of the monsters, the snake monsters. They didn't show him taking out one of the, like, gorilla monsters. Like, there was, like, literal monsters on ground that looked like gorillas. They showed, what's that dude's name? The dude from Guardians of the Galaxy. His name starts with an R. They showed him jumping on the back of a monster and just stabbing relentlessly, but they didn't show much of Hulk. Like, in the film, pretty much what he was doing was, at the beginning of the movie, he was more of a comedy relief, this movie. Like, that's what he was like. A lot of it was that. When they first went to him in the diner, the kids wanted to take a picture with him, and this was, like, about the time where they were trying to see if the time thing was possible. The kids wanted to take a picture. He takes a picture with them. They tell, well, it's like a joke in the movie, like, the kids don't want to take a picture with Ant-Man, blah, blah, blah. So, next scene we see is him trying to get Ant-Man to go back in time to see if it's possible. Okay. next thing Hulk does is plan on where, like, after Tony Stark comes in, like, they figure out that time is a thing that they can do. Hulk, they make plans to see what time that they're going to go to. Then they go to that time. We see original Hulk, like Hulk by himself, like Time Hulk, this Hulk, we see him jump off. This was in New York, I believe, when the bomb went off. We see Hulk jump down and he's crushing stuff. We see him go berserk, and then we see was it Iron Man or Captain America who told him? Oh, it was Captain America. He told him, we're gonna need you to smash a few things on the way. And then he, like, rips off his shirt, and you think that he's, like, actually going to go, like, berserk on the way. Well, not berserk, but, like, you think he's going to go destroy some things on the way. He, like, slams one car and, like, dents it, like, a little bit. He didn't use that much strength. Then he picks up a motorcycle and then tosses it. I mean, like, tossed it like a golf ball, but still. It, like, they didn't show much of him this movie, and it really, like, I mean, they showed a lot of him. They, like, I'm guessing the premise of this movie was just based on them being joined, and, like, I guess Banner's mind is, like, the encompass of it, so he doesn't really want to destroy a bunch of stuff. Like, even in a situation where I thought something would have happened, like where Thor grabbed Hulk, grabbed Banner and Hulk, Brock, by the collar, and then Banner was like, "Get your hand off of me." I thought that he would have, like, Thor would have been like, "What are you gonna do?" Or, like, you know, like, did like that, because he was drunk, and, you know, he wouldn't really remember what he's doing. He wouldn't remember that the Hulk is the Hulk. And then I thought he would have just, like, Hulk would have, like, at least, like, flung him, like, a few miles away. Nothing like that happened in this movie. And, like, all the things that we've seen of Hulk, we know he can fight. Like, well, not, like, intelligently fight. Like, he throws punches. He knows how to throw a punch. He knows how to lift a few things. And, you know, we thought that when he gets the intelligence, then he'll use the intelligence to help himself fight better. But that never happened. Like, there was no sign of that in this movie. There was another scene that shown his strength, but it wasn't like, you know, that significant in the greater term of actually dealing with anything to do with Thanos. After he snapped and his arm was burnt up, which, by the way, it's still burnt up, and his hand is in a cast, and it was gamma radiation, and he should be able to absorb that or heal from that. And I'm guessing maybe he'll heal over time, but, like, he should have, like, been fairly close to healing. It looks like more of a permanent burn to me. But he, like, held up like I want to say a whole building, or like a whole building of rubble. Like, he held it up with one hand. Like, that's, like, the biggest feat out of this whole movie, other than doing the snap and destroying his whole arm and, like, the his chin area. But yeah, so that's Hulk. Captain America, Mr. Captain America, the man, the myth, the legend, wielding the hammer, Mjolnir. That was a crazy moment. I did not expect that in the slightest. I don't know much about comics, about, like, a fair amount of characters, but, like, I knew he lifted the hammer in comics at some point, but for him to, in this movie, while Thor is getting ready to get impaled, we see the hammer lift, and in my mind, while I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, yeah. I was like, I knew Thor. I was like, okay, Thor, you about to bring your hammer in? Because I was like, why didn't he do that from the beginning? Because if you Because when he brings Stormbreaker back to him, Thanos can actually lift it because he wields the strength. Like that weapon in particular is strength. It's like mainly strength. Even Hulk can lift it, which I thought he would have done in this movie, but he didn't. But I was like, if that didn't work, just send Mjolnir, and Thanos cannot grab that. So I thought that when it lifted up off the ground and it was coming towards him, I thought that it would have been Thor that was doing it. Next thing I know, the hammer flies over, and Captain America... I'm ready. And then, like, started going to work. As if he wasn't good enough throwing the hands. Now he got this extremely all-powerful hammer under his control that gives him control of lightning. Even with the God of Lightning sitting to his left while they're battling, like, that's amazing. That's amazing to me. And he can also call Stormbreaker. He's worthy enough to call Stormbreaker to his side. So he can technically call both of them whenever he wants. So I don't know if it's I think they might be on the same level of calling the weapon. That's how during the fight Captain America ended up getting a hold of Stormbreaker, and then Thor had Mjolnir, and he was like, no, give me that one. And then they traded. I think that either weapon can go to either one of them. Like, whichever one of them calls the weapon, it can choose and just go. But Doctor Strange coming back and holding the wave, that was pretty cool. I still can't get over Spider-Man, though. But Black Panther coming onto the scene, you know, showing his fighting ability, well, against monsters that can't fight back that well. But, Scarlet Witch? Bro, don't get me started. She came through and was whipping him. I think that she could have actually beaten Thanos if Thanos didn't, call the rain down from the ship. Like, she would have washed him. Like, she would have just wiped her hands with the subject, and he would have just been gone. It would have been finished. There's her, and then Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel grabbing the gauntlet while he's holding it. And then, essentially, like, baby shake is not my thing, but it's somebody else's thing. I'm just going to use it. Like, essentially, baby shaking Thanos. Like, she, like, punking him. He tried to headbutt her, and she didn't even move. Like, that actually hurt. That actually hurt, but forget about it. That's literally how it went. Like, he just headbutted her as hard as he could, and she just, is that all you got, bro? And then, like, look, this movie, I'm 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. The only complaint I have is what I said about the Hulk, and that's because I'm really, really big Hulk fan. I don't read that much of his comics just because I haven't, like, I'm not the best reader, but I do, like, watch videos based on, like, some storylines about him in the comics. But, like, this movie 10 out of 10. I'm not done talking with just yet. I gotta talk about, I ended up crying. I ended up crying like a baby. Twice, in fact. I ended up crying when Tony Stark died. Spoiler alert. You should have already known this is spoilers. I don't know why I said that. Welcome. Tony Stark. And then when Pepper Potts came and said, "You can rest now." Oh. Man. It wasn't just him dying, though. It was him dying and then Spider-Man coming over, and, you know, it was that whole thing that got me. That's exactly the same thing that got me in Infinity War. Infinity War, when Spider-Man was I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. Yeah, that, yo. Oh God. Why? Like, it hits you in the field. But I'm a man, though. ain't nobody see me crying. That's why I went to the 3D version, so I had glasses on, so people couldn't see that. You know what I'm saying? But when he died, man, you know, that hits. And then, how could I forget? I almost forgot. Pepper Potts wearing the Iron Man armor. Gee, they over here back to back. Like Liddy. Like it's the best. It's the greatest. And I like how Tony ended up getting the stones, like grabbing Thanos' hands, and realistically I can see how he can do it because his armor nanos, if it's nanos, then he could just literally like absorb the like he can have his hands on the stones. If he gets all fingers on the stones, he can just implement it into his armor, in which case he did. I knew that it was going to happen, but I saw this picture that showed it on like the front, and it was, his armor was like silver. I knew he was gonna end up wielding the stones somewhere in the movie. Unfortunately, I ended up getting spoiled yesterday about that because I was scrolling down YouTube and literally somebody had posted a clip, and the first thing I see is Tony Stark like laying down, and he had, like, it was like the close to the death scene, like when he first did the snap, and like his face afterward. And then I look over and I accidentally read it. Like, I'm not the best of reading. Like, normally I'd actually have to like focus on reading in order to figure out what something says. Like, I'd have to be like, oh yeah, the cat and the hat, yeah. I'd have to do that, but like I glanced over at it and then I accidentally read a little bit of it, and it was like Tony Stark dies or whatever, like, you know, yeah. So I spoiled that crap for myself, but I mean, I had a feeling that he might end up dying. I had that feeling like in Infinity War when Doctor Strange let him live. I knew that it had to do with Tony Stark. I knew he was the reason that Doctor Strange gave the stone away. I knew it. Like, there was no chance I was wrong on that. I was completely 100% right. I knew he was the key to this plan succeeding. I knew it. There was no chance it wasn't. But I think I touched on everything. Other than Black Widow. Oh man, that scene, it almost made me cry. Almost. But like, they was fighting to see who was gonna die. That's crazy to me. Like, in the end, she got the upper hand on him, but technically, we know who won that fight, though. We know, you know what I'm saying? We know. She may have got her death, but he won that fight. The only reason she won the scenario, he won the battle, but she won the war. That's what we can say. So, what else am I missing? I don't know. We could talk about Captain America being saying Hell Hydra in the elevator. That prominent elevator scene in Captain America 2. Yeah, 2. Captain America 2. That elevator scene where he's like, guys, if any of you want to leave now. Cool. And then just mollywops everybody in this elevator. Ant-Man saving is his name Ratchet? I want to say Ratchet. The what's it called? The rodent. Yeah. But yeah, like, it was a great movie. Look, I don't want to spoil everything. I like encompassed a lot of things in there, you know. But I recommend a person see it. Like, I recommend a person would see it the way it was intended, with the rest of the movies being watched. But if a person wants to watch it with no prior knowledge, I mean, I guess it'll still be a good movie, but the only thing you'll be lacking is like the emotion that would be required, you know, for the movie. Because the reason why it makes people emotional is because we've grown with these characters. We watch the movies to understand their lines and their history and things like that. So we know what each character means to each other. So we know how it would affect them internally. So then we can have that emotion toward those characters when stuff happens to them. So I recommend a person watch it after they've watched the rest of the movies. But if you want to go into it without knowing any, it's still a really good movie. But that's it for this video. If you liked it, be sure to leave a like, subscribe. If you didn't, let me know what I can do in the comment sections to make it better for you to watch next time. Peace, love, thanks for watching.